why is someone's sexuality a problem for you? Like it doesn't make sense. Like mind your business. Like if this is something that you're not okay with, okay, fair enough, but you don't need to now come out and be like speaking negatively on people just because of the way they've chosen to live their life or what they find attractive or who they love. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, love is a very strong thing, and to allow people to love the type of people they want to love. Like you shouldn't be bullying people because of who they choose to love. Of course, if it's like underage and all of that, that's where the line comes. Of course, we draw the line and then we can speak on that. But I'm saying what I'm talking about is that like we have to start um letting people be who they want to be. That doesn't mean they're going to hell. This is just, and I just think the reason why I'm coming out to talk about this is just like as someone who grew up in a Christian household, and I see how they just demonize every single thing they see as like, oh, you're in the world. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you guys do realize that the Bible is written by people just like you. Like so when you're reading the Bible and you're like, oh, this is what God wrote, this is the book of life, they were written by people. And if I'm being honest, let's be honest with ourselves. There are times when you dream and then the next morning you don't even remember the whole dream. Like you can't remember every single details of the dream. So like a lot of Christians, their defenses are like, oh, the book was, the people who wrote it, like, God spoke to them. I was like, okay, fair enough. If God did speak to these people, not everything, you can't also be sure that everything they've written in that book is accurate, because we're humans, we make mistakes sometimes. Even when your friends tell you something, the next time you're trying to tell someone else, you're probably just like, oh, I'm paraphrasing. So it's just like all this, oh my god, this is what the Bible says, if you're this you're going to hell, if you're this you're going to hell. And let me not lie to you, if you think one certain sin is bigger than one, then I don't know for you, because according to the Bible that you're so focused on, that you're so obsessed about, lying is also a sin. There's multiple, like there are multiple things in the Bible that are considered as sins. So if you're now saying that, oh, if you're this then you're going to hell, then that means because everyone has lied, has lied in their life, that means you're going to hell, then that means everyone else, we're all going to hell if that's the case. And I just feel like this is the problem that I have a lot of times with overly religious people, is that it just feels like a lot of things they do is not actually from a place of love. And even in the Bible, one thing that that Jesus did was everything he did was based on love. Like he even, the story about the prostitutes as well, where he even loved the prostitute. Like there's, even that word, I don't even like using that word, but you know what I'm saying. Like what I'm trying to say is that he loved every single person. Like he focused on love. And I'm not going to lie to you, I rarely see that in the religious community, in Christianity. I don't see them acting from a place of love. And whatever you can say, oh, we do act from a place of love. And I know their defense would be like, oh, we're showing love by making sure you're not going to hell. Always been judgmental. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, as someone who was raised in a Christian household, who was actually used to be like a properly religious person as well. And when you come out of it, you just realize that, like, what the hell? It's like it feels like they removed the cobwebs. They removed the cobwebs, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, when you actually take a step back to see how sometimes it comes across very judgmental. And sometimes when you think about it, like it just, you're even doing more hate than actually doing it from a place of love. And like I said earlier, like the excuses, oh yeah, we do this is, I just feel like their excuses when it comes to Christianity, they're like, yeah, we do it from a place of love. We're telling you to not do this type of to not be sinful so that you don't go to hell. That is us loving, that's us doing it from a place of love. But I'm not gonna lie to you, that is not from a place of love, constantly telling people that they will go to hell for what they choose to do with their lives, when they're not hurting anyone, they're not doing anything, they're just doing things from a place of love and just being themselves. But because your Bible says that it's not right, then you're saying that then they're living a sinful life. It's just not fair, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, and sometimes it just feels like, have you sat down to even think that, okay, maybe, just maybe, um the information I'm reading as well, that's not the whole truth. Like it's not always accurate, because the Bible was written years ago by people like you. I always say this, like if you step back and say, as okay, yes, you think that God wrote the Bible, but God did not write the Bible himself. Like you said, they spoke through people to write, but people are people. Like, people make mistakes. People sometimes say things from their own belief system because of the environment they live in, and it's not always accurate. You can't just take people's word for you can't just take people's word all the time and be like, yeah, that's how I'm going to live my life. I'm not saying that the Bible doesn't have good information, but I think what I'm pissed off about is the fact that every single thing that, if people don't do every single thing the Bible tells them to do, then that person is condemned to hell, is going to hell. And it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry to say, this is my opinion anyways. I don't think there's anything like hell where you're going to burn. You're not like don't get me started because I'm just going to go off. Like, when you come out of that mindset of being too religious, of reading the Bible literally, you just start to understand that, like, oh my god, like, it sounds silly. Like, it does sound silly. Why do you think a God that loves his children would send them to hell? Like, come on now. Like, anyways, that's just my belief. And don't come to my comments saying that, oh, that's your belief. Because the thing is, I feel like I try not to have conversations with, I won't say conversation, I try just not to argue with Christians, because I do feel like they just go back to, well, the Bible says so. And I'm just like, can you just tell me what you think, not what the Bible tells you to think? And I think just what I did. Okay, anyways. But I think what's annoying is the fact that, like, a lot of religious, overly religious people, they've just taken the Bible so literal, like, and it's just like, oh, if the Bible doesn't say it, then I can't do it. If the Bible doesn't tell me to do that, I can't do it. I was just like, can you not see where the problem is? Can you not see that there's a problem? The fact that you don't get to think for yourself, you don't get to have your own opinion or your own self. Do you not see where the problem is? Just sit back and think that. And the reason why I'm saying this is I've had conversations with a lot of Christians when I'm just telling them, about the Bible, I think, and stuff. And they'll be like, well, the Bible says we shouldn't do it that way. And they just keep going back to the Bible as the reference. And I'm just like, okay, but what about what you think? What's your opinion? I want to hear your opinion about the situation. And, I can just say here and go off because, guys, like, it takes me off because I just feel like you shouldn't just take everything that is given to you like just like that. Sometimes do your research, try to find out the truth. And I think this is where the problem is as well, where in Africa a lot of people will go to church, they just basically take the Bible or take what the pastor says and just says that's, they just basically believe that's the truth. Some of them don't even go read that Bible, they just take what the pastor says. And that's why I feel like a lot of them, if you see a lot of videos where pastors are basically like doing sexual activities with their congregation, all in the name of their prayers being answered. And that's why a lot of them fall for it, because they just take, the pastor's word for it. They just accept that. And I think this is why you have to be careful as well, because don't even let me get into the history of the Bible itself. But what I'm trying to say is that do your research about everything. And you can't just say people are going to hell. Like, you can't just say people will end up in hell because they did something, or they did something that doesn't align with your values. It's not as if they killed, can I say, it's not as if they've what's it called, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on TikTok or YouTube, but it's not as if they've done anything that goes against the law, if you get what I'm saying. They're just living their life from a place of love, but because you don't believe that, or that's not what you participate in, then you feel like that person is going to hell. Like, come on. Like, let's just be honest now. Like, it does give, let's not lie, it does give. I am the one that is, I don't even know how to put it. I'm the one that's perfect. And at the end of the day, no one is perfect. Everyone is just trying to do what they can do. Like, they're just trying to improve on themselves. Like, and I just feel like if you're genuinely doing things from a place of love, you love people, you're trying to improve yourself, and you just move from a place of love, I just feel like, I think if there is heaven and hell, those are the kind of people that will go to heaven. Because all they're doing is moving from a place of love. They're not trying to hurt anyone, they're just doing anything. So regardless of who they choose to love, whether a man, whether it's a woman, whether it's the same sex or not, then as long as they're not hurting anyone, they're not doing things that is illegal or sleeping with underage people, then I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I just feel like you need to let people be and just let them be fine with their sexual identity and stop saying that they will go to hell, because that is very judgmental. And even in the Bible that you read as well, it does say that why would you try to pluck I'm paraphrasing. Why would you want to pluck like a small stick from someone's eye when you have a whole log in your own eye? Focus on your own self. Focus on your journey. If that's the case, if you've chosen to be a Christian, then focus on your journey to heaven. Focus on that. You don't need to judge other people's journey. We don't know. You might even be the one ending up in hell if there is that. Because God is probably like, I didn't ask you to go judge anyone. So it's just a thing of like, how about we all just, if you've chosen to be in a specific religion, focus on your religion, do things from a place of love. You can give people advice from a place of love, but don't try and force people to or create fear in people's mind. And you do know that that is also fear mongering. The whole thing of, oh, if you don't do this, you'll go to hell. You are living your life in fear. And I do feel like that's one thing a lot of Christians don't understand. Like, a lot of Christians are not actually Christians because they want to be Christians. They're Christians, and you know what? Whatever. If anyone wants to say anything, you can say it. But I feel like a lot of Christians are not Christians because they want to be Christians. They're Christians because they're scared of going to hell, and that's the honest truth. Because a lot of times when you say something, they'll be like, oh, you go to hell. You go to. Yeah, I always tell my friends that anyone who says that, oh, I'm doing this because the Bible tells me to do it, I don't take that person seriously. And you know why? Let me explain why. It's because, one, it means that, like, if the Bible doesn't tell you to be kind or be nice, you wouldn't do it. And I prefer people who genuinely do things because they want to do it, because they feel like, I genuinely want to, like, my heart wants to do it. I'm just a giving person. I'm just a nice person. I prefer people like that. Or people would just tell you straight on, oh, I can't do it because I just don't feel like doing it right now. Or I'm just like, those people, I do appreciate those people, because it's just like, at least you're not trying to do it because you feel like a Bible told you to do it, or because God told you to do it. So if someone didn't tell you to be nice or to be kind to someone else or treat people with love, you won't do it. Yeah, exactly. So anyone who comes to me to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because the Bible tells me to do it. And if I don't do it, I'll go to hell, or like, God tells us to do it, then I'm not gonna lie to you. I just won't take you seriously, because it just means it's not genuine. Like, it's not genuine. That's why some people who are not, there are many people who are not like religious, and they're just living their life from a place of love. Remember the video we all watched from was it last year, where this girl, she bless her, where she called a lot of churches and mosques about the baby thing, and most churches literally um rejected her. They rejected her. They didn't want to help her. Literally, they did not want to help her. And it kind of showed as well how, and I don't know, I feel like that was, everyone just kind of moved past that too quickly, because that really does show that, are you doing things from a place of love, from real love, or because you feel like, oh, the Bible tells you to do it? And if you notice, they didn't do, a lot of them didn't even want to help her, because they just felt like, oh, the church doesn't have the support to help. But like, the church doesn't have to have the support to help someone that their baby hasn't eaten in a day. If you can help the person from your pocket, then you can. But of course, you don't. If you don't have the money, that's fair enough. But how come all of them could not help? They just couldn't help. And it just kind of shows as well where your act of kindness or who you are is really coming from. Is it coming from a place of, your Bible tells you to do it, and in secret you're not, that's not actually who you are, but in public you have to show that because you feel like, oh, this is what the Bible wants me to do, but in secret, behind the scene, in your own bedroom, you know that you don't even want to do that. You don't want to be nice. You don't want to be kind. And I'm not saying you have to be kind or nice, but I'm trying to say that, like, don't now, I don't know how to put it. Don't, uh, don't now be doing it because you feel like you should be doing it because the Bible tells you to do it. Like, yeah, honestly, when it comes to this topic, I can actually go on for a long time because I think it's just a thing of we all need to, as humanity, we need to learn to move from a place of love for real, not fake love, but like, we're all not perfect. If you can't do something, then you don't have to do it. That you can't say you don't have to do that. But I think you should also allow people to choose to do what they want to do in terms of just who they want to be. Let people be who they want to be. Let people have the freedom to be themselves, to experience life for themselves without putting the fear of going to hell. Like, not everyone believes in what you believe in, and that's okay. Like, and I think what a lot of people, I just don't understand people who just feel like, oh, because this person doesn't believe in what I believe in, then they must go to hell, or they will go to hell. You just judge them. Like, there are many people, like, I have friends from different countries, different religions, and we might talk about things that are different, but like at the end of the day, we still love each other. Like, because it's just a thing of, just because you believe in something doesn't mean I don't like you. Like, but if you genuinely feel like, okay, you don't want to be around people like that, then okay, but then don't now be coming online or basically trying to put fear in them. A lot of people are like, going to be like, oh yeah, but that's just what I believe in, and that's okay. But you constantly now coming to put fear in people, saying, because that's you spreading fear, that's you not spreading love, that's you not spreading love. You're spreading fear by telling people they will go to hell. It's annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you. And yeah, and I saw this video and someone was just like, it just doesn't make sense how you're sacrificing your experience on earth just so you can make heaven that you've not seen. Um, and I know a lot of Christians, they're like, oh, it's my faith, and that's okay. You know what? That is genuinely fair, and there's nothing wrong with Christianity. I do believe in certain things from like there's certain things I do. I don't know how to put it, that I do take, how do I put it? There's certain things from the Bible that I do like respect, and I'm just like, okay, fair enough, this is nice and stuff. But what I'm just trying to say is that let's just treat people from a place of love. Allow people to stay in their sexual identity, mind your business, let everyone else mind their business. If you won't do it, that doesn't mean someone else won't do it. You get what I'm saying? Like, the saying six, the number six, you might see six, someone else might see nine. Doesn't mean that that person is wrong. It just means that you guys are saying things from a different perspective. And I think that's why sometimes I do question that. Oh, that's, it's not sometimes, that's why I do, one of the reasons why I question the oh, heaven and hell mentality, because I do feel like, you know there's certain things that you've not been through that someone else has been through, and then you know they act from that experience. You get what I'm saying? Or they have to do certain things just to make ends meet, or just to do certain stuff. You get what I'm saying? And you can't judge that person, you can't really hate on that person. The best thing you can do is like, okay, maybe it's not right, but you might not be, I mean, it's not even that, it might not be right to you, but that doesn't mean it's right, and is that doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because it's wrong to you doesn't mean it's wrong. Do you get it? Because everyone sees things from a different perspective based on the way the cards are drawn for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, if the card is being shown to the other person as nine, and it's being shown to you as six, at the end of the day, the argument will go on forever because that person genuinely sees six and you see nine, or vice versa. So that's what I'm trying to say. But in conclusion, I just feel like people need to calm down with this, oh, you're going to hell thing. Like, please, you've not been to that hell. We don't know what's after death. Like, let's all be honest, we don't know. A lot of times people are just, we're all assuming, and that's the truth. Even if people don't want to believe it, like, everyone is making their own assumptions as they go. Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, like, everyone is just making their assumptions. No one knows for a fact what's going to happen to you when you die. So yes, this is your belief, and it's just your assumptions and your belief and your faith, and that's okay. If that's what you choose to believe, that that's what's going to happen to you when you die, then that's your own belief. That's the path you've taken. Let someone else take let other people take the path they want to take. We live in a world where everyone has multiple paths. You can't just force people to follow your path because you feel like by fire by force, that's the way, that's the only way. And this is the argument that a lot of Christians say. They're like, oh my God is the only God, my God is I'm just like, bro, whether you like it or not, we all have the same God, because it's one. If that's the case, there's only one God that created all of this, whether you like it or not. That's just my opinion. But I think Christians just gone like, oh yeah, my God is different. And I'm just like, okay, fair enough, that's your belief. But you can't now say that that is fact, because it's not fact. It's just your faith, your belief, your assumptions. You get what I'm saying? So but yeah, that's just that's just my opinion, guys. Yeah, if I'm to go on with this topic, I'll be here for a long time. But that is all for today, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think as well, and your opinions as well about this topic, because I love this type of topics, because I just feel like, as someone who was a religious Christian, I'm telling you, I understand a bit about how, like, if you're not careful, you just be in that mentality where you just feel like, oh, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I'll go to hell. And it's just a life of fear. And even in the Bible, it says, don't live your life in fear. But people don't understand that you are living in fear, constantly making decisions because you're scared of going to hell. You're scared of going to hell, and you're literally missing out on the amazing experience of being on earth. When you take a step back, you do realize, like, it's like something that, even no matter how much you tell someone, you have to let them find out by themselves. You have to let them, maybe something would trigger them one day, and they're just like, wait, this doesn't make sense. And I do feel like a lot of times people do know that certain things don't make sense, but I think they just want to ignore it, and they just don't want to question. And you know what? That's okay. Like I said, I do want to practice what I preach. If you feel like that works for you, and I do feel like a lot of times it's okay to be in any religion you choose, because everyone's journey is different. If that's the religion that's helping you at that moment, then for sure, like, go ahead and continue that, because um there's certain things that come into your life at different times of your life to help you at that time, if you get what I'm saying. And there's been times when being a Christian helped me get through that stage of my life, or not being, or stepping out of the religion as well, as helped me. I just feel like, in conclusion, let people be what they want to be, but don't judge others harshly. Don't judge others at all for what they choose to do, how they choose to live their life, because they don't believe in what you believe in. Okay, I'm just going to leave it as that. But that is all for today, guys. I'll speak to you guys later. Bye, and enjoy the rest of your week.